Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our Sunday meditation. Today, we are on the 13th of December. We just came back from church where we had our second service this weekend. Because of the situation in France, we are, concerning this pandemic, we have to have only 30 people in each service. So we are having two services here. So we had one yesterday and the same service today. And we actually doing I like performing. We had a drama called Les Bergers Masqués, the shepherds wearing masks. It sounds better in French actually. And next week we are going to have another part of the drama called that we call the Les Ténèbres démasquées, removing the masks of darkness. So very interesting. So we are looking forward to that. So I would like to read today a text that in the drama today we talked a bit about what is written in this Isaiah 53. Who has believed our message? Indeed. And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain, like one from whom people hide their faces. He was despised, and we held him in low esteem. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. Yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. It's interesting to think that life is not very easy. That's the theme of our year here in France, in our Baptist church here in the Basque Coast. We know that life is not easy at all. Our lives are not easy, but his life, when he came down to this planet, wasn't easy either. Some people see in this text the crucifixion, and some others see the whole life of Jesus. And I believe this text doesn't just talk about the crucifixion, but it talks about his life in general. Because he's saying here that he grew up like a tender shoot. So we believe this text talks about the Messiah. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind. When God comes to this planet, people spit in him. It's interesting to see that the longest and the most beautiful preachings of Jesus in the Gospels ended up with people taking stones to kill him. Once, when he was preaching in the synagogue, people during the message decided to throw him from the top of the cliff where the town was built. In John chapter 6, after the multiplication of the bread and the fish, when Jesus gave this wonderful, amazing message that touches the hearts of the disciples today and all the time, disciples of all times will be touched by this message. But that day was when the day when Jesus' church started, not filling up, but losing its members. Nearly everyone left Jesus that day. They might have come back another day, but that day they didn't stay to the end. Only a few disciples stayed to the end. Amazing. When I think that most of us listening to this message would like to be there to listen to Jesus' voice, but you might be surprised that you might be amongst those who left, even amongst those who took on stones to stone him. That's what happened when Jesus was preaching in John chapter 10. When he said, I am the good shepherd. And some people took on stones to stone him. In our drama yesterday and today, these people were trying to understand what was the point in this baby coming into our world. And I believe that every time you think about Bethlehem, you should think about Golgotha. You should think about the cross. As he himself said, I came to this. That's the reason I came. He came to die on the cross. And this text of Isaiah chapter 53 is talking about how he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. And the punishment that brought us peace was on him, on the cross. And by his wounds, we are healed. And Handel will sing this beautifully, isn't it? In the Messiah. We are very complicated people. I was reading last week in my Facebook this Brazilian person saying, we've been praying for the vaccine and God has given us the vaccine. But most of us are saying this is from the devil. The vaccine is from the devil. It might be just a vaccine. And it might be a present from God, but lots of people say it comes from the Antichrist, that we should not take it. Maybe we are even part of those who believe that this is from the devil. It might even be from God. We are very, very complicated people. For centuries, they waited for the coming of the Messiah. When the Messiah came, they decided to kill him. So what are you going to do this Christmas? What are you going to do this week with the revelation that you have received from God? God came down to earth. He was born in Bethlehem. That's the message of Isaiah. That's the message of the angel to Mary, or to Joseph as well. You should be called him Emmanuel, which means God with us. What are you doing with God with you? Is your heart totally open for him? As a Christian, do you really believe that Jesus is the Son of God, the Messiah, the Savior? Is Jesus your Savior? Or are you just celebrate Christmas because it is an amazing tradition in the Christian world? What sort of price are we paying? What sort of cost are we paying when we are following Jesus? Are we part of those who will take on stones to stone him when he bring out this amazing revelation about himself? Or are we like those who will fall at his feet and worship him because he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? God bless you.